Justin Trudeau's biggest nightmare is Pierre Poilievre. Pierre Poilievre is so factual and he's so objective that Trudeau just can't handle it, especially when he drops awesome zingers like he does in this video. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to a new video, everybody. Before we get into it, of course, the same spiel you hear every single time. I hope that you can smash the like button, subscribe if you're not already, and I really hope that you consider turning post notifications on. It's that little bell icon. It's free to do. It just adds a layer of insurance to make sure you can actually be notified of upcoming videos, but more importantly, live streams. Now, if you've never hit the button, why don't you just try it out and see what happens, see if you actually get notified. Pierre Poilievre, in this video clip, tells Justin Trudeau to go back to school. That's how big of a incompetent failure Justin Trudeau has become, that the leader of the opposition party tells our prime minister to his face live on a national broadcast, but more importantly on House of Canada's live broadcast, to go back to school. It's absolutely embarrassing, not just for Trudeau, but I mean, I'm a little embarrassed that Trudeau is the leader of our country. It doesn't exactly make our reputation any better. In fact, you have countries from around the world, their mainstream media that are making fun of Canada, Canadian Parliament, but more importantly, Justin Trudeau on a daily or weekly basis. You've seen India do this. You've seen Australia do this. You've even seen America do this. And I'm sure the list goes on and on. So now I'm going to step out and I'm going to let you guys watch this clip and let me know as the debate is happening what your favorite part is.
For 8 years of excuses and inflationary debt and taxes, food prices and mortgage prices are raging out of control. In fact, mortgage payments are up 150%. When the government borrows money, competes with Canadians for their mortgage rates, it drives up the cost of lending. So will the Prime Minister tell Canadians how much will his government borrow this year? How much?
Le très honorable Premier ministre.
Mr. Speaker, on the one hand, Conservatives continue to call for cuts to spending and cuts to supports for Canadians, but at the same time, they say there's not enough access to housing. And they put forward a plan, a private member's bill, to tackle the problem of housing affordability. The problem is it won't build homes fast enough, it doesn't reach enough cities, and it creates unnecessary bureaucracy, Mr. Speaker, while cutting the Accelerator Fund and ripping up our agreements to build more homes with cities like London and others across the country. On this side, we're actually linking public transit dollars to housing density, working with cities to ensure their housing proposals are ambitious, and addressing the bureaucracies to slow.
L'honorable chef de l'opposition.
Mr. Speaker, the question was how much? You see, when the government borrows billions of dollars out of the economy, it bids up interest rates. Those interest rates have already ballooned faster under this Prime Minister than under any other in monetary history. So once again, how much, and how much will this government borrow from the economy this year? Just the number, please.
Le très honorable Premier ministre.
Mr. Speaker, while the Leader of the Opposition continues to talk down Canadians and talk down the Canadian economy, we're going to continue to put Canada's strong fiscal position in service of Canadians. Yes, Mr. Speaker, our strong fiscal position. We have the lowest deficit in the G7. We have the best debt to GDP ratio in the G7. And we're one of the 3 largest countries in the world with a AAA credit rating from the bond agencies. Mr. Speaker, we have been there for Canadians, and we have been responsible stewards of the public purse, and that means we will continue to be able to support Canadians through these difficult times, including with the measures we have right now.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
The bond agencies he brags about are the same ones who were charged because they falsely claimed the subprime crisis would never happen in the United States of America. Canadian households, after 8 years of this Prime Minister, are more indebted than any other country in the entire G7. And interest rates have gone up faster than at any time in monetary history after 8 years of this Prime Minister. All of this is driven by his massive addiction to borrowing. So the average barber or waitress knows how much they borrow. Does the Prime Minister, who's the head of a $500 billion government, even know how much he's borrowing out of the country this year?
Le très honorable Premier Ministre.
Mr. Speaker, we see once again the Leader of the Opposition's tried and true tactics of attacking the facts when they don't suit his purposes. Mr. Speaker, the international bond rating agencies like Moody's and S&P that have ranked the top economies as AAA economies, the United States, Germany, and then Canada in the world's largest economies, have said that our fiscal plan is sustainable. As we are there to support Canadians, as we demonstrate fiscal prudence, as we support Canadians through this difficult time. Now, he can wage war on experts and the facts and demonize them all he likes, but we will keep being there for Canadians grounded in the facts.
Now, the Leader of the Opposition.
Even tell us the facts.
That's right.
Because he doesn't even know the facts. Exactly. This is a man who is going to borrow $421 billion this year. If the government bought 421 billion apples, the price of apples would go up. When they borrow $421 billion, the price of debt goes up in higher interest rates. That's why Canadians are paying 150% more on their mortgages. How much will this government force Canadians to spend on national debt interest this year?
Hear, hear. Le très honorable Premier Ministre.
I know Canadians won't be taking any condescending economics lessons from the Leader of the Opposition after he proposed to Canadians that a good way of avoiding inflation was to buy crypto, Mr. Speaker. That was his economic counsel to Canadians, and if they had followed it, they would have lost almost half of their life savings. Mr. Speaker, you can understand we won't be taking any economics lessons from that guy.
Colleagues, I know that we are caught up with the passion of the debate. I ask you to always direct your comments through the chair and to also make comments which are not disruptive to the House. The honourable member of the official opposition.
Mr. Speaker, that Prime Minister should be taking economics lessons from everyone. Everyone. This is a guy who said budgets balance themselves right before he doubled the debt. This is a guy who said he doesn't think about monetary policy right before he led interest rates to rise faster than at any time in Canadian history. This is a guy who, up until I told him, didn't even know how much he was borrowing out of the Canadian economy. This is a guy who's doubled the rent, doubled mortgage payments, and doubled the needed down payment. Mr. Speaker, it's about time he took some lessons. Why doesn't he go to the library and do a little bit of studying?
Colleagues, I ask us to make sure that our comments are not disruptive to the House. The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, while the Leader of the Opposition continues to play his partisan games and focus on me, we're going to remain focused on Canadians. We move forward with an Affordable Groceries and Affordable Housing Act that they have continued to obstruct debate on. We've continued to deliver things for Canadians like dental care for low-income Canadians that they stood against. We continue to deliver $10 a day childcare in places across the country that they campaigned against. They continue to campaign against the Canada Child Benefit. We see, Mr. Speaker, they're always there to make clever political arguments. They're never there to actually support Canadians like we are.
That's the end of the video, folks. I'd love to know what you guys think down below in the comments. Did you enjoy that zinger as much as I did? Because I got to tell you, I love this. I love the fact that it's our democratic right to be able to watch Question Period. And I love that. I mean, I know a lot of people get really upset and disappointed that it's kind of questions without answers. I totally understand that. But you have to think about the normies that haven't made up their mind or that are sitting on the fence of who they want to politically vote for, right? When it comes time to cast that ballot. And if they ever come across videos that they see their person that they're voting for unable to answer simple questions time and time and time again, you start to lose a little bit of integrity for them. Now, you and I, really likely, I don't want to speak on behalf of all viewers, but chances are if you're watching this, you're not a really big fan of Justin Trudeau or the NDP. So videos like this, when you share them with friends, family, on your Facebook, on groups or whatever it is, when you engage in the videos, it pushes us out further. And maybe on the off chance we can hit one or two people or a few people that haven't really made up their mind politically yet and just raise a little bit more awareness. So if you haven't yet already, on your way out of the video, I really encourage you to smash the like button, subscribe if you haven't yet, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye for now.